We've got a very special guest who's joining us on Zoom. She is the CAS of Youth, ICT and Youth Affairs, ICT Innovation and Youth Affairs, CAS Nadia Ahmed Abdalla. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
As guys are great. It's really good to have you here. And we will also be joined by Dr. Dan Okoro, who will be speaking about Kenya ni Mimi. Now, I'm just going to start with you, CAS. Do you listen to reggae?
That's a good question.
From time to time.
From time to time.
Who's your favorite reggae artist during those times to time? It's okay. We can wait.
So cliche, but actually, I love Bob Marley's music.
Bob Marley. So
Yeah.
she doesn't really listen to reggae, but it's okay. So, unajua ukiongea mambo za youth. If you speak youth, you know youth as in love reggae music. You know why we love reggae music? Reggae is conscious. It's conscious.
Yeah.
If you listen to youth who are listening to reggae, they're very conscious people, very focused. And these are the people we're speaking to right now. Now, Kenya, Dr. Dan Okoro, you've joined us.
Finally.
Karibu sana.
Yes. Asante sana.
I'm gonna-
just get a position.
Take your time, Dr.
Take your time. I'm going to ask you the same question, but think about it. Who's your favorite reggae artist?
Dr. Can you hear us as you get ready for the...
Yes. So let me just get myself.
Yes. Who's your favorite reggae artist?
I also ask me.
Who is your favorite reggae artist?
Oh.
And you're not allowed to say Bob Marley.
Wow. I used to, but not nowadays.
Who's
I
that?
crossed over to. Burning Spear.
So the Burning
awesome,
Spear.
awesome,
That's a
awesome.
good one. Now, the reason why I'm asking you this is because I was looking at this Kenya ni Mimi, which we're going to be speaking about. And of course, it's something geared towards the youth. Now, if you know the youth in Kenya, especially the ones who are really conscious, who know where they're trying to go, who know who they're trying to be, reggae has a big influence. And that's who you're speaking to right now. So I'm going to start with you, CAS Nadia. What is Kenya ni Mimi? What is this campaign about?
Thank you. So this campaign is about really inclusion of the young people. Growing up, I'm from a marginalized community. I'm from Mombasa, I'm from Hili.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I really didn't feel part of Kenya. I didn't feel that the government is coming up with programs that are for young people like myself. and
Yeah.
others. And so when I got this opportunity to now be in this job,
Yeah.
I knew I had to come up with a campaign that is going to make young people feel like they're part of Kenya, but also they're responsible for the different programs and different things that happen from time to time. So I was so conscious enough to come up with this campaign so that every conscious Kenyan
Yeah.
can feel they are part of it.
So I'm just going to take you back. You said you grew up in Mombasa and you didn't feel like, you were part of Kenya. What was it at that point? What was the gap you were feeling? You were like, I'm Kenyan, but this could be exciting for me as well.
Yeah. I think it was when we were looking at programs, growing up, you'd see in the TV or even in the radios
Yeah.
and on newspapers, like this young person has done this young person has achieved this, or there's a certain project in that particular region
Yeah.
by then.
Yeah.
And then I reflected and then looked at my community and looked at where I was. And I was like, there's nothing that is really crafted for us. And I realized growing up, I always used to do things by myself and used to come up with programs that fit for my people.
Yeah.
But when I joined government in January, I realized that they're there. The problem is there's a gap. Young people they don't really understand. And that's because the articulation is really not for young people. The articulation is really something that has been curved from back then until now.
Yeah. So you're there since January. Already you're like, okay, let's start speaking to young people. Let's get young people to feel and embrace and know that Kenya is theirs. So Kenya ni Mimi.
Yes.
Tell us about this project.
Okay, so basically this project is divided into 5 pillars. And I did this consciously because I knew every young person belongs to a different segment.
Yeah.
Not every young person is a doctor or an accountant and so on.
Yeah.
And so I came up with a strategy that would really bring all of them together. So I have the opportunities and information aspect. So this aspect is where I try to bring in all the programs and the stakeholders in the government, private sector, to really tell young people what is there for them and what does work for them and not. And at the same time, it's a chance for me to also do my research to find out, is it really working for the young people? Or is it something for the young people? Then I go back and now tell my boss, report back. Then you have the innovation aspect of it. So a lot of times young people feel like innovation is just technology. But innovation is not technology. Innovation is craft. Innovation is art. Innovation is music. Innovation can be that young person who came up with that, the machine that you can use your feet to wash your hands. You know? And so the goal for that particular pillar is to be able to really give civic education and articulate to young people that you can be innovative, whether you're a creative or whatever it is. And these are the channels where we are going to really help you go through it. Then we have the third aspect, which is the health and well-being. So health and well-being, first of all, I'm a very big avid champion of mental health and of SRR. And so sexual reproductive health. And I knew for a fact that there's a lot of young people, a lot of young girls who are getting affected, who have no clue about sexual reproductive health. A lot of young people are committing suicide because of mental health. And this is because of unemployment rate. This is because of lack of opportunities. And so I had to strategically come up with a design where it's going to teach the young people what health and well-being means, but then also partner with UNFPA and be able to teach young girls and teach adolescents about sexual reproductive health, your rights, and all the things that encompass in there. Then we have the climate and environmental conservation. As you know, climate change is a big thing and affecting our livelihoods. Then at the same time, His Excellency the President is a big champion, you know, not only for the youth globally, but also for climate change. And we have one thing, a mandate that we need to plant 2 billion trees by 2022. And so basically what I came up with a strategy to first teach young people. You see, if you want to bring change, it has to come from the top. And so I'm teaching with civic education and partnership, we're going to teach them what's the importance of growing trees, preserving nature, keeping a clean environment. And then from there, we're also going to partner with different stakeholders and see how we can now bring the conversation upwards and be able to really protect our country. And the last one is values. This is a very important aspect because what I've realized since I got into this job, and even from my past, is that a lot of young people don't feel patriotic. They don't feel patriotic about the country. They don't feel patriotic about one another. And they just don't feel, they don't have those values anymore, the ones that our great grandmothers had or our mothers had. And so I came up with the love, peace, and a unity strategy to really make young people understand if we don't unite as one, if we don't love each other as one, and if we're not peaceful among each other, especially during election times, there's a lot that our generation is going to lose as compared to the generations that came before us. I really just champion and chant this idea of, first of all, really don't allow yourself to be used, you know, when it comes to political stuff, when it comes to economic stuff. And secondly, value your neighbor. A lot of young people, we are not loyal with one another. We easily cheat, and we easily just try to look for easier ways. So I tried to tell young people that if we keep doing this, really, Kenya ni mimi na Kenya ni wewe na Kenya ni sote. If you don't do, then we're losing what the generations to come gonna do. And so that's how I really designed this whole campaign, so that everyone is able to have a piece of it. And the campaign is not for myself. I'm just the head who made it. But I want the young people to embrace it.
I like it. So we're going to take a short commercial break there. It sounds interesting, Kevin. What you listening to this?
I think it's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Yes.
The big question is, how are we going to implement this?
Yes.
And we're coming back. Dr. Dan, don't go anywhere. I know you're thinking, I feel like I could play you some Burning Spear, but I don't even know if there was any love song, you know, to always
just talking about social rights, you know, social justice.
Yeah, we're going to play some Lovers Rock when we come back. Guys, remember, tweet at us with that hashtag Kwambox and Kev. Unasikia story mazi, story na bambare. Are you the kind who loves your... Uji bambare nini?
No, I got you. Are
you the kind who loves your neighbor? Are you the kind who, you know, is patriotic to this nation? I want to say, ay, bana Kenya si yetu.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
Right about now, of course, we're having a serious conversation. Kenya ni Mimi.
Definitely.
This campaign is actually being launched very, very soon. And we've got the CAS from ICT and Innovation right here to speak to us about this. Alafu, we've got Dr. Okoro, of course, from UNFPA, Program Specialist on Sexual and Reproductive Health. And I know that UNFPA is the vision bearer.
Yeah.
How are we planning to execute this? Karibu sana. Guys, karibu sana. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, sorry, I was muted a bit. As Cass has already mentioned, that based on the 5 pillars that this Kenyan Mimi is going to be anchored on. So we take some of the, it provides for us an opportunity also for us to carry out the mandate. Because when you look at those opportunities, the empowerment of the young people.
Yeah.
When you look at one of the key pillars, they are looking at health and well-being, where she has mentioned her passion for the for the mental health,
yes,
and even looking at the sexual reproductive health. And key for us is the area of the sexual reproductive health.
Yeah.
For which, we are the lead UN agency for the sexual reproductive health, and within that we're looking at specifically the menstrual hygiene, menstrual health issues, which affects many of the young girls in school and even those are out of school. We look at the issues of teenage pregnancies, which of course has been in the media for quite some time, and we see the rising and disrupting the lives and even the social network of the people. More looking at the girls and the boys at the same time, because when it affects the young people, even the families gets disrupted.
So, Dr. Dan, I want to ask you've mentioned this is already been in the media. This is something that's been happening. You are the leading UN agency on this particular issue, and now that Kenya ni Mimi has launched and they're looking at this as pillars, what measures are you what's going to be different now? Because this is definitely something that you've been dealing with. What will be different?
What will be different is increasing the awareness that this, because sometimes one of the why we're having the teenage pregnancy on the rise, for example, is information.
Yeah.
The lack of awareness of how to protect themselves and avoid, especially looking at avoiding we'll call it illicit sex, so to speak, and even avoiding to be abused sexually, so that we avoid the teenage pregnancy. And even should that do occur, what do we resort to? Do we resort to unsafe abortion? Do we go back to school if after giving birth? So that because that does not end the life of the young girl, does not end the life of that family. So there's still something that they can still do. Because one of the things which happens with even the teenage pregnancy is that a young girl gets pregnant, the chances of getting pregnant again is quite high. And issue is now, some remedy can be done. They can be counseled, they can take through the pregnancy, then after giving birth, even accessing skilled care in the health facility, giving birth to a baby and subsequently resuming back to either those who are still in school, go back to school. Those who can be linked to economic empowerment can be, especially like the government has introduced the vocational training, those can be linked to the training, can be trained. And Cass has mentioned the innovation entrepreneurship. There are very many avenues in which the life can continue, not to resort back now and give up on life. So that's one of these, and even access to, mentioning that repeat pregnancies. Can they be able to access the contraception so that they avoid repeat pregnancies? HIV, yesterday we just marked the World AIDS Day, for example. So how do we prevent HIV even amongst these young people? One of the things which sometimes is the same men or young boys take advantage of the girls is the issue of the pads.
Sanitary towels.
Yes. That's a big issue.
So the government has already launched a program to avail the pads. And we also come in also to support the government and in availing these sanitary towels to the young girls, so that they do not look themselves to that they depend on other source for this essential items or materials for their own health. Yes. So we come in handy to provide information, provide services in partnership with the government.
I like that.
So it's interesting you're mentioning. You just mentioned a fact that most of these young girls don't even have access to sanitary pads and stuff like that. Now, regarding awareness, spreading information about sexual reproductive healthcare, when you go to mashinani, especially in remote areas, how do you intend, as an agency, how do you guys intend to access this youth who, trust me, I've been to certain areas, especially Luo Nyanza and the eastern part of this country. These kids just have no idea that these programs exist. So what are some of these ways that you're going to reach out to them?
Okay. One of the ways is actually using the media like you, because we believe radio penetrates penetrates quite much better than even sometimes phone, and we believe as much as we'll talk about some of the rural areas, maybe access to the phones is a challenge, or even network sometimes can be a challenge. But we use the valuable media that can be accessed at that particular level. And two is that looking at the structure, like maybe Cass will highlight in terms of the structure that will be used, to lay out for the Kenyan Imimi. So we use the peers, we pack information to using either the schools, where there's especially for the school going children, and at the village level, at the community level, use of the community healthcare workers, and even the young boys, young girls, to pass information. So what is important is for them to be equipped with the correct, and we must emphasize it, the correct information, and even which is appropriate for that age, so that they can to utilize.
Are you engaging other stakeholders within this, initiative?
Yes, there are many stakeholders. Of course, for us, say being a UN, we are not implementing agency as such. So we use the government systems. So if like now we use the ministries, the government departments. We use some of the civil society, some of the community-based organizations, which to carry out some of these interventions. So we use the resources, we give them the information, we give them funds to and package the messages which they can utilize.
All right. CS Nadia, we are at we're almost at the cusp of the launch, which is happening on the 7th. And a lot of young people, I'm seeing someone here saying, we should be able to, the ministry should be able to give us more access, especially to learning on IT. We're going to speak about that on a separate, occasion. But what are we expecting for the launch? I know that the president will be attending the launch and he'll be officiating it.
So first of all, no, the president will not be officiating it. I think there was some confusion there. Of course, when you come up with a baby, you're always hopeful for something greater. So of course, we are hopeful, maybe. Then again, it's not something that is definite already, because the president himself has a lot of things he needs to do. And the reason why we're not really focused on him attending so much is because this Kenyan Imimi campaign is for the young people. And so really what we have done is, of course, this is a partnership between us and UNFPA. And what we have done is we are going to identify Kenyan Imimi ambassadors, who are each going to now come for the launch. And they will now be the ones who will help us disseminate information when we now go to the smaller regions. Because for now, we just want to launch it so that young people are able to listen and are able to know more about what Kenyan Imimi is, why it's starting and everything. But the bigger picture is basically just getting these ambassadors, then working with these ambassadors to now see how we can improve programs, to now see how we can move forward, and also to listen to them. A lot of times things have been done in a way that we tell the young people what we think they want. Okay. So Kenyan Imimi is a campaign and platform to really listen to the young people. One of the strategies that we're going to use is we're going to identify, let's say if we're going to either Nyanza, Western or Coast, we're going to identify what is the strongest issue there, okay? And from there, we're going to now look at what are the private-public partnerships that we're going to have. So when we go to a certain mashinani area, we know we are going with, let's say, Huawei, they have the digital truck, okay? we're going to them and we're going to give maybe these young people maybe 2 weeks of digital trainings so that they're able to really know what technology is about. They're able to know what skill building is about, and they're able to move forward from it. And then from there, we're also looking at how we're going to have community forums to reach rural. Like I just came from Dubai, where I'm telling you, when it comes to like rape and incest is on the rise. And I had a chance to sit with not only, so here's the very unique part of Kenya Nimimi. Because I sat with the elders and I sat with young people. So elders, you have Pakados, the Kaya leaders, you have the ones, you have all those. I sat with them, and the reason being is also I need to show young people that yes, we are innovators, we are smart, we have our own minds, but in order for us to really build a strong foundation, we need to also learn from our elders because they have been there. Not saying that they are they know everything, but they know something that we don't. And so what I did, I tried to bridge the gap between the two, and it was actually a very successful community engagement, because a lot of the young people there then were able to know that there's some funds for young people to use. We were able to also request one of the organizations to come up with a gender community. So basically, if there is a rape happening somewhere, before them running to the courts or to the police, they go to these groups, and then this group now facilitates. Because the other issue is a lot of young people have issues when it comes to facilitation or when it comes to access to proper information that is there.
All right. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this conversation. Remember, guys, if you've got any question, Kenya Nimimi campaign is about to launch. It's launching on the 7th, and it's all about you as a young person. Interesting pillars right there, including sexual and reproductive health, and also we're talking about mental health. We're talking about access. We're talking about patriotism, innovation, and so much more.
Morning Vibes, where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.
Massive shout out to everybody who's tuned in right now. Of course, this is Morning Vibes with your captain of good vibes. They call me Kwambox.
And they call me Kev Matata, the incredible.
Can you imagine? It's almost the end of the hour, and we're talking about something amazing that's been launched by the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. Of course, championed by the CAS Nadia, who is, of course, in this conversation. Now, before I let you guys go, I'm just going to ask you to give your final thoughts. What should the youth look forward to when we launch this campaign?
So I'll go first. Basically, they should just look forward to more engagements from us. Especially myself being the youngest in Kenya, one thing I've taken up is to go to the ground and really like engage with the young people to find out what works and what doesn't work. And then two, I think they should also they should be proactive. You see, this is something that I tell young people. I know times are hard and everything, but also proactiveness helps when it comes to you trying to create a better well-being for yourself. And so they should just, if they are able to access the internet, they should follow us on social media. And if not, they should follow us on radio, they should follow us on newspapers and TV, because we are going to look for all channels to disseminate information. And I'm going to try and just bring young people together with the partnership with UNFPA, of course.
So real quick, by the way, Madam Nadia, how long will this campaign take?
So nationally, of course, we are launching it in December, but this campaign, it doesn't have a deadline because it's a continuous, So even right now I'm 29. So let's say by the time I'm 35 and I move out of the youth bracket, someone else is definitely going to carry it. That's why I have the ambassadors, because I need them to champion it forward.
And then on that note, real quick, you mentioned how you understand how things are usually difficult in this country, especially for the youth. I mean, we have problems like corruption, classism, which is a new one on the rise. But what does success look in terms of this campaign? What impact do you intend to have?
I think information, like young people get substantive information, but also unifying and the element of patriotism. I don't want us to look at each other because of tribes.
Yeah.
I want us to look at each other through Kenya ni Mimi because of our substance and what we can bring to the table, but how much impact and change we can make as well.
I like that. So the success vector would be once people are taking ownership of, I got a part to play in this. All right. Is there going to be, because I remember, I always mentioned this, one of the most successful, I think, civic education campaigns that ever happened in this country was when, you remember when Leonard Mambo Mutala used to tell us, kutupa takataka kwa barabara, you know, and this was simple, small things that would make you realize, okay, you know what, if I throw it there, who's going to pick it up? It has to be me. Is this some of the things that we're looking forward to?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things is like love for one another. Can we be loyal to each other as young people so that if we want to change something, let us do it as a collective.
Yeah.
And let's not look at, I'm here or I'm this and I'm that, you know, and let's have more young people engage in social change. That's the key. Because even for myself to get to this point, I'll tell you, before being a CAS, I worked so much with my community.
Yeah.
And I worked I was a social entrepreneur because I felt like, I still believe that's the one way mechanism for you to change or have a huge impact.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We got to let you go. Thank you so much, CS Nadia, and of course, Dr. Dan Okoro. We appreciate, we look forward to the launch, and, we'll be clearly talking more about Kenya ni Mimi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was a great conversation. Of course, kumbuka, it is being launched on the 7th of December.
It is a jam-packed December.
A good things, man.
You guys.
You just got to let us know how you feel about this one. How you feel about this one?
I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like engaging myself in social activities, especially things that are going to affect my community for the better.
Yeah, especially the youth. You know, me nakwambia kitu yote youth mi napenda kwa sababu now, you know, I see the apathy.
Yeah.
I see yani venye ukiongelesha tu youth yote hivi unamuuliza, "Wait, by the way, unapenda Kenya kwa sababu ya nini?" Wewe unafikiri are you Kenyan? Atakwambia, mimi ni Mkenya lakini unajua Kenya iko na wenyewe bana. Hiki ukimuuliza corruption itaisha, hiki Kwambox mazi kitu Kenya iko na mwenyewe. Unajua kuna mwenye nchi na mwananchi.
That's a common one, by the way.
And it really hurts me because and there's a question I asked when we started this hour. What is the average age of a Kenyan?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And nobody got it correct.
Can I guess?
Yes.
24?
No.
What?
19.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Now, if that's the average age of a Kenyan, and they're already speaking like that, and what's the life expectancy of a Kenyan?
60 something? Oh, okay.
So you have a good 30-something years of apathy.
Proper apathy.
Yani unimse mwenye already ashajua yani there's nothing this country can offer me. So this person already, with that thinking unafikiria tu, mi nikiget job mazina, mna mdosi ya kwa tu amefunga macho kidogo, wala inavuka na kila kitu. Mi nikiwekwa in a position of power mazinda, finyilia kila mtu. Nikiambiwa ni help kuget wase job mazi, lazima wanikanje kitu. Like you don't see your responsibility as a citizen. Because you already have that apathy. So the only thing I would say, for this campaign to be successful, they really got to look at those vectors.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, they have to.
And they have to have a very inclusive approach. Everyone has to be part of this conversation.
Now, I mean, if you're an MVP, we always say, you are better than what you think you are. Yeah? Hiyo
like
story
that.
apathy ati, mazi kwa, unaweza fanya kazi, lakini kitu hicho.
Let me give you a perfect example of something small that you can do for your community na inaweza change my lives I was here around. Ukichikia hapo takataka wasa wanatupa. Just go gather it up. Choma. You start like that. The little things. It's the little things.
Yes, the little things. Lakini ukisasa ka ile market paka ilikuwa ina.
Mimi ningekuwa na hiyo place.
Mungegather ma youth hapo.
Ningegather tu magazi na mimi guys niaje una kamna kiberiti, uta kamna ma gloves, mimi nita kamna
We used to be like that. What happened? Now we have the average age 19. 19.
And you know that 19 age, that one is a very, very productive, quote unquote.
It's also very reproductive.
Wow.
It is.
That's true. But if you just channel the energies to noble causes, like, community work, you will be amazed how far we can go. Leaders,
Leaders ni wewe. Listen to me. You 19-year-old. You're the leader, not of tomorrow, of now. What are you doing to own that space?
Vybez Radio, we rule the nation in this generation.